What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. Let's take another trip back into the fog. So look, I've been thinking of something new that I want to add to the channel here lately, and I think part of it is because of some speculation that we've been seeing amongst the community here the last couple weeks. So I want to talk about a buff or nerf series, and mostly we're going to talk about buffing some of the killers that we don't really see as far as in red ranks. I mean, in red ranks, I feel like you see a lot of Hag, Nurse, and Spirit constantly. Quite a bit of Freddy, quite a bit of Doc. But then after that, it's like really hit or miss otherwise. Although, I do feel like Pyramid Daddy has had his waves where you see him in red ranks as well. There are some killers you see once in a hot blue moon and some that you just see here and there. Now, one thing I will say that I absolutely love about Dead by Daylight is the fact that I feel like really any killer when they're played optimally, like by someone who mains them and really knows the ins and out of how their base kit works, like can really just be a force to be reckoned with. However, if we're fair and honest, there's definitely a meta when it comes to the killers, right? Like with that being said, there are reasons that when it comes to consistent red rank queuing, you don't see a lot of Daddy Mikey, you don't really see the Legions, or even the Clowns when it comes to the red ranks. I mean, heck, you don't even see very much Deathslinger or Demo Dog either. So, I figured it could be a fun series, especially because there are rumors, or dare I even say, confirmed rumors, about some of the aforementioned killers getting a buff or basically a rework to their kit. So for starters, one of the ones that's been talked about lately is my boy the Clown. I know, the closet clown main in me is coming out. But we gotta have a very fair and honest conversation about him. Like, the Clown's base kit's already at 4.6 meters per second, which makes him one of the fastest killers in the game. Although it may not feel like it at times, and I know he sounds like he smokes about 8 packs of Reds a day. But the Clown definitely does not need to be any slower. We do, however, need to look at his reloading speed and the number of bottles he carries in his base kit, or talk about a complete rework on what his tonic ability actually causes. The easiest of the three here is really going to be talking about the amount of bottles that our funny friend here starts with in his base kit, and that is 4. Now, this is the part where I remind you that the Huntress has 5 hatchets in her base kit. It does damage when she hits people with their hatchets, and she has a much farther range when it comes to how far she can throw her hatchets compared to the Clown does with his tonics. But if you're a seasoned player, you probably already knew that. Now, I'm not going to try and say anything as far as bringing the Huntress down to the Clown's level because in actuality, it's quite the opposite. I feel like our Clown friend really deserves some love. Again, not just as a closet clown main, which we joke about over on my Twitch channel where we play not only a lot of Clown, but a lot of red rank Survivor as well. And definitely wouldn't mind seeing Clowns every once in a while and more of a viable option in the red ranks. Maybe then I'd see less Hag and Doctor players, which would be a nice change of pace. Anyways, if you ever want to swing through our Twitch channel where we do stream 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, link for that's going to be down in the description below. Now, I don't think just one extra bottle is going to fix his base kit all on its own. Again, the Huntress has 5 throwable hatchets, and they actually do damage, and they can be thrown at a much greater distance and effectively be used. However though, bumping up Clown's tonics from 4 to 6 would make his lackluster base kit feel much better without making it really feel oppressive to the survivors. Now, hear me out. The addition of the 2 bottles also gives the Clown some considerate snowball potential, which in his current state, I think we can all agree he doesn't really have much of. I mean, he has no one-shot down potential without using an iridescent add-on. He doesn't have the ability to close the distance between himself and other survivors quickly like with a phase walk or a blink or teleport. These 2 extra bottles gives the multiple down threat that really the Clown just doesn't have in its current form. At least in my opinion. I think the 2 additional bottle change would really be enough to make the Clown interesting. I know. I also talked about looking at his reload speed and base change of his tonics itself, but if a player had a base of 6 bottles plus potentially more from add-ons, I think the absolutely ridiculous slow speed as far as the reload and movement would be at least a little bit more acceptable. In its current state, the reload animation is a whole 5 seconds while moving at a whopping 1.61 meters a second. Remember, a running survivor without sprint burst runs at a base of 4.0. So, quick math means that over the course of that 5 seconds, a reloading clown only covers a distance that a sprinting survivor covers in 40% of the time. That's a bunch of time and distance in the current state of the game where the Shift W meta really seems to hold prevalent, where a clown is only rewarded with 4 tonics, which realistically, even a good clown with really good aim will need to use at least 2 of those to catch back up and finish that chase in a reasonable time. I do think that the reload speed itself can be tweaked just a little bit, just because like if little old Meg can run around with a toolbox all game and never slow down, my big humorous friend here should be able to move just a wee bit faster while he's handling tonic that, I mean, clearly is a professional at handling, right? Now, the last fix is honestly something I think would require the most work from as far as the developers, which I know we already asked for a lot from them as a gaming community itself, but it would also require a lot of the patience from the community while we really figure out what a good rework for the clown would be. But I think I've got an idea that would be a super cool twist for a killer, but you just gotta hear me out. Now, imagine Clown in his current-ish state, not with the extra 2 tonics that I already recommended, or a change in his reload speed, although I think those 2 fixes makes the most sense. However, this is something that could be different and really make the clown unique. Now imagine the clown, but with the ability to decrease a person's status effect similar to the plague. Instead of making a person sick by continuing to throw up on them, the more time a player spends inside the tonic cloud, the more intoxicated they get. Now hear me out. The intoxication effect would work similar to like the old Thana, where the more intoxicated you are, the more stacks of it there are applied to that player. So a bigger decrease that player experiences in both healing as well as when doing gens. Your intoxication effect, however, does not last forever like the sickness from the plague. Essentially what's going to happen is after 20 seconds of getting out of a chase, although maybe the 20 seconds isn't really what it needs, I mean that's going to be a number crunching thing from the developers, honestly. Again, they have a really hard job. But that's why we pay them the big bucks, right? Smiles. But after 20 seconds of not being in chase, the intoxicated survivor essentially begins to sober up. On the flip side, though, the longer an infected survivor is in chase with the clown, and therefore the longer they spend in the tonic clowns from multiple bottles, after a certain point, just like the sickness with the plague, the affected survivor becomes one shot. This is going to basically help combat a mixture of everything that the clown faces in the current status of the game. At least as far as having less throwables and a killer who can do damage with their hatchets, as well as having the reload time that allows survivors to build up distance but not quite break chase. So I've talked about my suggestion to make the clown more viable, and remember, the whole goal is to make it that the killers are equally viable. That way we can see a nice mixture of them when we go into queues as survivors and kind of not see the same 3, 4, 5 killers every match. Now, if you did enjoy the content, do me a huge favor, leave a comment down below, let me know what you like the most, as well as hit that like button because that's going to help us out with that notorious algorithm. And if you're looking for some good weekly content, you can hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on, that way we can catch you back for the next video. Oh, and one last thing I did want to say though, before we let you go. I couldn't help but notice that none of these killers released since the Spirit, basically in like 2018, like late 2018, are any of your meta killers you currently see in Red Rings. I think Oni has a potential, who was released at the end of 19, but he has a learning curve and lacks noteworthy teachables, which caused people to stray away from him in the first place. The Executioner does seem to be the closest one to breaking the mold, as people have had more time to truly learn him, and figure out how to work with his kit even with the recent rework. But anyways, y'all, until next time, do me one last huge favor. Remember, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard, love harder. It's your boy Q, signing out. Yes. Oh, why did I didn't want to do that. Fuck. Oh well. Thank you. I'm gonna thank your friend for that, buddy. So now we should have everybody on last hook. Perfect, perfect. You're gonna tell me that. Fuck it. You got DS, just do it. He doesn't have DS, chat. GG's, buddy. I don't even know what one I did last time. I'm so confused. Alright, so everyone's on death hook. You're gonna tell me that didn't hit her? Hello? Alright, well, come here, Claudia. Claudia! Your friends already threw all your pallets over here. What are you doing? Bars? Or are you talking about playing while you rapper? I think you're talking about bars, though. Come here, friends. We're gonna put you in the basement just because I don't want to waste any hooks that are out in the middle. And because I can't remember if you have another hook left or not. No, you do not. You are dead. You are DED dead. Deader than shit. Alright. Rough for this guy. There we go. That way we were at least able to, finish off our bottles there. Get wrecked, girl! I don't know what resolution y'all watching this in chat, but that looks like a 4K to me, baby. Let's get it. We are 300 away from a perfect game with the clown, though. Let's go. With the double pip, though? Let's go. Clown main confirmed.